I hope that you are all aware of the security concepts, and in our day-to-day life, we are every day connected with the security concepts in one or the other way. So this course mainly provides fundamental level knowledge on security, compliance, and identity. So this Microsoft SCA solutions can span across solution areas to provide a holistic and end-to-end solution. So the learners should have general knowledge of networking and cloud computing concepts, IT knowledge, or any general experience working in an IT environment, and understanding of Microsoft Azure and Microsoft 365. Now, apart from acquiring the knowledge, you also should focus on getting the certification. I hope that after completing this course, you will acquire knowledge and attempt for the exam connected to this course, that is SC 900. In this 2 days training, I will guide you regarding the SC 900 certification exam also and give you the details how to attempt the exam, what are the questions that can be focused on, and finally how to get the best percentage in the final examination. Going to the next slide. Yes, course agenda. There are 4 modules in my course. So describe the concepts of security, compliance, and identity. Describe the capabilities of Microsoft identity and access management solutions. So in this 3 hours of discussion, I will be focusing on module 1 and module 2. So mainly our focus will be on module 1 and module 2. Coming to tomorrow's discussion, we will be mainly focusing on module 3, that is describe the capabilities of Microsoft security solutions, and module 4, describe the capabilities of Microsoft compliance solutions. So altogether, these 4 modules make up the SC 900 certification exam. I hope I am clear. So today I will be totally focusing on the concepts of security, compliance, and identity, and Microsoft identity and access management solutions. Now, as I told, apart from gaining the knowledge, we have to focus on certification areas also. This SC 900 exam, as mentioned, has 4 modules, and the weightages are for the first module, that is describe the concepts of security, compliance, and identity. It is 5 to 10% only. So it is having a lighter part in the final examination. When it comes to describe the capabilities of Microsoft identity and access management solutions, you can see 25 to 30%. So there is a good weightage. And when we see the third module, that is the describe the capabilities of Microsoft solutions, this is the major one. We have 30 to 35% of weightage in the final examination. And also describe the capabilities of Microsoft compliance solutions has 25 to 30% weightage. So finally, what I suggest you is focus on the major parts which have the major weightage, and also gain the introduction concepts also, so that you will have a balance of both. I hope I am clear with the weightages. So the higher the percentage you score, the more weightage you have for your placement opportunities. Yeah. Now, before starting my actual lecture, I want to give you some booster and give you some quote so that you will be supercharged, super activated for this 3 hours of afternoon time. Today's quote is dream it, believe it, and build it. So my dear participants, never lose hope in your career. Have a good dream for your future and believe it and build it. That's it. You will be very successful in the near future, and hopefully on this positive note, let us jump into the actual discussion. Before going into the actual discussion, I want to tell you all that not only lectures, we will have breaks, we will have relaxation, we will have demonstrations, and also I will be giving you the most important details about MOC and also how to redeem it. That is the major thing. My dear participants, we have to go for redemption of MOC also. and also some surveys I will do so that I will know about my participants. Yes. Coming to the module 1, that is describe the concepts of security and compliance and identity. The topic of the day. I will be giving you all the details about this module 1 in this class. Before going to the module 1, I want to have a small survey. How many of you are aware of security concepts? So, and I want to tell you all that my colleague will be Meenu Kakkar will be acting as the chat moderator. She will be helping you all regarding all the details related to technical questions, giving you all the links, and she will be guiding you related to MOC related doubts also. So you can always interact with my colleague regarding the chat discussions. So I request my colleague to have the survey question on security. Yes. I hope you got the survey question. Yes, is the survey question posted, please? Are all of you going to get the survey question? Yes. I hope you all got the survey question, and I will see your response related to the security concepts idea. How many of you have the basic idea of security, are aware of the security, partially aware of the security, and totally not having any knowledge? So that was the survey question posted to you, and hopefully your response is given by all the participants. Yes. Now, on the survey, I will plan my delivery of the content. Now coming to the module. When it comes to the module 1, as discussed, describe the concepts of security, compliance, and identity. There are 2 chapters. Describe security and compliance concepts and methodologies, and describe identity concepts. So I will be discussing the lesson 1, describe security and compliance concepts and methodologies now. So for every lesson, there will be the targets to be attained. For this lesson, there are mainly 4 top targets to be attained. The first one is describe the when it comes to the first target, describe the zero trust and shared responsibility models. Next one is describe common security threats and ways to protect through the defense in-depth security model. And the third target is describe the concepts of encryption and hashing. And the fourth target is describe the cloud adoption framework. So I will be discussing each and every topic related to this module belonging to this lesson. Now let us jump into the first slide, zero trust methodology. Now when it comes to zero trust methodology, you can see the diagram and various concepts related to the zero trust methodology in the slide. As the name suggests, trust nobody. The mantra of this zero trust methodology is trust no one, verify everything. I will start with an example. I have my house and I have the main door locked. And I also have some doors internal to the house, but I have no lock facility. That means there is only one lock for the main door. And if I open the door with that key of the lock, and if I enter into my house, there are no locks for my remaining doors. Do you think your house is safe? Never. Every time we see that all the doors have the proper locks associated with them. That is what is zero trust methodology. You have to safeguard all the sensitive data relevant to your organization, and see that at every point of entry, there is a proper authentication check. Now I have used authentication check. I will be speaking about authentication and authorization in the coming slides. So taking that point into consideration, when it comes to zero trust methodology, there are three main principles: verify explicitly, reach privileged access, assume breach. When it comes to verify explicitly, everything should be verified. Now that the work from home concept has come after the COVID-19, every software employee is working from the home, and all the organization related data, application, infrastructure is accessed from house. Now, what I say in verify explicitly is everything should be verified before giving the access. The user should be verified, the access to device should be verified, and then only proper way of control should be given. Without verification, nothing should be given to access. That is what is verify explicitly is. And when it comes to least privileged access tells that whatever the access boundary is there, that only should be given to a particular user or customer. Say for example, you enter into a bank and you see the clerk, you see the assistant manager, and you see the manager. Now, when it comes to clerk, the clerk will have the access relevant to his or her documents, and the assistant manager will have access to his or her documents, and the manager will have total control related to the bank. Now, each one will be having their own set of controls and access. Nobody can enter into the other's role. That is what is least privileged access is. That means you have to set the boundary, and the boundary should not be crossed relevant to the role of the employee. Here comes the role. The role of the employee plays a vital role, and based on the role, the access should be given. Assume breach. Now, every day when we go to sleep, we lock the door and we go for the sleep. Why we go for the sleep? In the sense, why we lock the door before going to the sleep? We have a threat, and we feel that if we are not active enough to safeguard our house, there is every chance of theft to happen in our house. That is what is assume breach is. If we are not what we say careful and leave the lock unlocked, then there is a chance of theft to happen in our house. Same is with our organization also. Every day we have to assume breach. A breach in the sense there is a rule violation in terms of access. So we have to assume that something is going to happen bad to our organization in terms of stealing of data, organizations, applications, and access of devices in an improper way. And based on that, we have to safeguard our devices, data, and application. That is what is assume breach is. I hope I am very much clear with zero trust guiding principles. So the mantra of this concept is trust no one, verify everything. And the foundation pillars are identities, devices, applications, data, infrastructure, and networks. When it comes to identities, verify and secure each identity. Now, what is identities? Identity is nothing but your username. So the service name or the device name. So every time you have to verify and secure each identity. And when it comes to devices in the sense ensure compliance and health status of your devices, and create a large attack surface as data flows. So the devices should be ensure compliance and health status. So you have to check the health status of the devices and see that access of devices is done as per the rules. When it comes to applications or the way the data is consumed, and improper permissions should not be given to use the application. So proper permissions should be given to use the applications. When it comes to data driven protection should be enforced. it should be classified, it should be labeled, and it should have to go for encryption algorithms and decryption algorithms, so that the trust is established in terms of your maintenance of data. When it comes to infrastructure, there is a lot of focus on detecting the threats on the infrastructure, block the risky behavior for the infrastructure. So we have to see that the risky behavior in terms of access of infrastructure is totally prevented. So whether on premises or cloud based. And when it comes to networks, you have to see that encrypt all communication, and you have to see that the communication that is happening should be well encrypted and the network should be segmented. So this is all about the pillars of zero trust methodology. So it works mainly on verify explicitly, reached privileged access, and assume breach. Hope I am clear with this concept. Now, when it comes to defense in depth, so there are layers at which you have to see that there is a security at each and every level. So when it comes to levels or layers, there is a physical layer, there is identity and access, there is perimeter, there is network, compute, application, and data. So at each level, you have to see that there is a proper security implementation. When it comes to physical layer, the data center should be given access to only authorized personnel. So authorized personnel check should be done. So data center should not be given to unauthorized people. Who is authorized? If I am working in an organization, I am authorized customer. I am the organized employee of that particular organization. If I am a client of the bank, I am the authorized customer of that bank. So that is what is authorization is. When it comes to identity and access, security controlling access to infrastructure and change control is the key concept. So identity and access, I will speak in the second module more about this, because this is also one of the main focus of our 4 modules. So there I will speak about identity and access. So when it comes to clue about identity, as I told, your username is your identity, and based on your username, the access privileges will be given. When it comes to perimeter, protection to filter large scale attacks. You have to see that the large scale attacks should be well protected, and you have to see that the distributed denial of service does not happen. So what is denial of service? Denial of service means the server will not respond to the users, and all the users will be hungry enough to access the data. So that should not happen. And when it comes to network, I already mentioned when it comes to network, the communication should be happen in a encrypted manner. Here also the same focus is there. At this level, you have to see that communication between resources using segmentation and access control happens. And when it comes to compute, here the virtual machines access should be well protected, either on premises or on the cloud. A virtual machine is the actual machine on which all the tasks get implemented. So you have to see that the secured access happens to these virtual machines. When it comes to application layer, you have to see that you have to ensure that secure and free of access should be given to all the applications. So that is what is application layer level protection. So applications are the main ingredients through which the users will communicate with the organization. So you have to see that it is well secured and free of security vulnerabilities. And data is the gold of the organization. You have to see that well secured access to the data is given. Mainly customer data is to be well protected, because the customers will believe organization when the data is well protected, and it should be given in an encryption manner. Encryption means converting into a secret form. So this is all about defense in depth. Hope I am clear. This is the pyramid diagram, and the pyramid diagram is the base for my security module. So if you see confidentiality, integrity, availability, that is what is CAA. So CAA means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. What do you mean by confidentiality? See, if I share some secret to my friend, I will tell to my friend that keep it confidential. That means it should not be disclosed. Now your username, that is customer information, and password, you should never reveal to anyone at any cost. That is what is confidentiality. See, you have so many situations where you receive a message, SMS from the bank that keep your username, password well secured. Don't share it. And we often in a hurry mood, we share it. And we enter into a situation where there is a risk of losing of our amount in the bank or credential information. So what I suggest you all is that confidentiality is very, very important. You have to keep the information secured. When it comes to integrity, keeping data or messages correct. So what is the main point here is when you are sending the data or message from source to destination, you have to see that the correct data or message is sent from the source to destination. There should be no change of the data from source to destination. If I say hi to my friend, the same hi should reach to my friend. It should not be sent in an improper manner. And availability, whatever the data, whatever the applications are there, they should be made available. Whoever needs it in an authorized manner. So this is the pyramid model, which is very essential for my security. Yes, the shared responsibility model. When it comes to shared responsibility model, I want to tell you all that this diagram is the base for my shared responsibility model. Before giving you the details of this diagram, let me give you all the details of software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and on-premises data center. When it comes to software as a service, it is nothing but delivering applications over the internet as a service. So the applications are applications. I will just simply tell it as app. So delivering applications over the internet as a service is nothing but SaaS. I hope I am clear. When it comes to platform as a service, so when it comes to platform as a service, is nothing but providing the computing platforms. So the best example is OS, operating system. And when it comes to the other important parts, programming language, execution environment, database, and web server. So these are provided as a service to the user in platform as a service. Now, when it comes to infrastructure as a service, so here we provide the compute, the storage, networking resources on demand or on pay on basis. So here we will be providing mainly the compute, storage, and networking resources. And when it comes to on-premises data center, now before the cloud computing concept came into existence, we had the on-premises concept. In the sense, all the data, all the applications, all the relevant resources were there on the premises, and every user used to access them from the premises only. After that, the cloud has come. We are shifting from on-premises to the cloud. So this is all about software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and on-premises data center. Now, when it comes to shared responsibility model, here you have to be very clear that how much burden is there on the customer and how much burden is there on the cloud provider in terms of accessing the concepts related to SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Yes. When it comes to IaaS, I will tell you the main point is that of all the cloud services, infrastructure as a service requires the most management by the cloud. If you see, infrastructure as a service requires most management by the cloud customer. So if you see, the blue color is for customer and the gray color is for the Microsoft. So most management is on the shoulders of cloud customer in terms of infrastructure as a service. When it comes to platform as a service, the cloud provider manages the network and OS. And the customer is responsible for applications and data. So that is the diagram showing you. So there is a share. There is a share in this particular column. And when it comes to SaaS, software as a service. So software as a service requires the least amount of management by the cloud customer. The software as a service requires least management by the cloud customer. So finally, the cloud provider is responsible for managing everything except data, devices, account, and identities. So in summary, this shared responsibility model gives you the responsibilities always retained by the customer organization as well as the cloud provider. Okay, so I hope I am clear with this diagram. You have to keep this mind in your keep this concept in your mind forever. The shared responsibility model is very important. I hope I am clear with this slide. Now let me speak about the common threats. So as a customer, you should be very much concerned about the threats that are happening to you or your organization, your data, and also the applications, the infrastructure, everything. Threats are nothing but a kind of attack that is going to happen on your data, on your application, on your infrastructure, on your resources. So when it comes to the common threats, data breach, it includes, I already spoke about data breach. There is always a chance of breach. We discussed in zero trust methodology that there is always a chance of attack, and data attack is the common attack. In this, we have tech support scammers. So what do you mean by tech support scams? When it comes to tech support scams, you may get a call and the caller will pretend to be a computer technician from a well-known company. He will try to remote access your computer and pretend to run a test. And by running the test, he will grab all the data from your computer. That is what is tech support scam is. This is dangerous. When it comes to SQL injection, SQL means structured query language. A malicious SQL query to retrieve hidden data will run, and it will try to grab the content from your database. And when it comes to malware is nothing but a wrong intention software running to steal your details, passports, bank details, everything. That is what is malware is. And phishing. Phishing is the most common attack. See, you will receive an email that you won the Kaun Banega Crorepati contest and give your account details to withdraw 1 crore rupees. What you will do with war enthusiasm? Not only you, everybody who is interested to get something will give all the details, username, password, and later on you will see that instead of getting 1 crore from the Kaun Banega Crorepati contest, which is a fake mail you receive, you will lose your own account money. So that is what is happening nowadays. Every day we are seeing in the newspaper that so much of money is going because of the user accessing a mail and giving all the details. So these are all the data breaches. Now when it comes to dictionary attack, yes. So dictionary attack is nothing but an identity attack. So what the hacker will do, hacker is nothing but a person with malicious intention. He will try for a large number of known passwords and he will steal an identity. Okay, so that is what is the dictionary attack is. So it's nothing but a brute force attack, where the trial and error basis kind of thing will happen, and all the content related to the user will be stealed by using this brute force attack. Now, when it comes to ransomware, so what is ransomware? It is a type of malware that encrypts files and folders. It attempts to extort money from victims. So in ransomware, what happens is it is designed to deny a user a organization access to files on their computer. So what happens is you will enter into your organization, you will access your system. So on one fine day, what will happen is all the files on your system will be encrypted, and you will get a message that to decrypt those files, you have to pay money. So very drastic situation, no? So these kind of attacks are very dangerous and attempts to extract money from victims. So that is what is the main point. And when it comes to disruptive attacks, it is nothing but distributed denial of service attack. Sorry. Yes. So a distributed denial of service attack mainly, as I mentioned earlier, attempts to exhaust an application's resources. So when I was an engineering student, this attack used to happen with my university server. I used to very enthusiastically go to the internet center. During that time, internet was provided by the internet centers. Not everybody used to have internet connection. And I used to check my results. Some days, I fortunately used to get the result on the day I used to visit the internet center. But sometimes what used to happen? The server is down. Who did this? Some malicious hackers or some person with bad intention might have downed the server, because the server is providing all the results, and if he downs the server, every customer or every student who is supposed to see the result will not get the result. So that is what is one kind of happiness for the hacker or attacker. So these are the common threats that happen, and also there are common threats like coin miners, rootkits, Trojan wolves, and exploits and whatnot. Every day it is changing dynamically. Encryption. Yes. So when it comes to encryption, encryption is the process of making data unreadable and unusable to unauthorized viewers. So what we do in encryption is we convert it into a data into a secret form. So that is what encryption is. We convert the data into a secret form, and during the time of decryption, we try to reconvert the secret form to the original form. So when it comes to encryption, there are two categories: encryption of data at rest and encryption of data in transit. So what do you mean by encryption of data in rest? Data at rest, the data which is there on the disk or tape or on the some secondary storage device will be converted into a secret form, and it will be preserved. When it comes to encryption of data in transit, when the data is transferred from source to destination, we try to keep the data in an encrypted form when we are sending the data from source to destination. So there are two level types of encryption. One is symmetric and the other one is asymmetric. So what do you mean by symmetric? Use the same key to encrypt and decrypt data. Here in this diagram, you will see key. You use the same key for encryption as well as decryption. As I told, encryption is nothing but converting the data into a secret form, and decryption is nothing but trying to retrieve the original form from the secret form. And when it comes to asymmetric, we use a public key and private key pair, as shown in the diagram. The public key and private key. Here you have come across a new term called the public key. So what do you mean by public key? Public key is a large numerical value that is used to encrypt data. Public key is a large numerical value that is used to encrypt data. The key can be generated by a software program, and moreover, it is provided by a trusted designated authority. When it comes to private key, it is the secret key. When it comes to private key, it is the secret key and is a variable in cryptography that is used with an algorithm to encrypt and decrypt data. So, what is the difference between symmetric and asymmetric encryption? In symmetric encryption, we have the same key, whereas in asymmetric encryption, we have public key and private key. So that is the main concept. When it comes to hashing, the next concept. So hashing, we try to use an algorithm to convert the original text to a fixed length hash value. That's it. And here we have a unique identifier for the associated data. Now you may get a doubt, sir, what is the difference between encryption and hashing? There also we are converting into secret form. Here also we are converting into one of the binary form or some fixed length value. So the difference is, see, I will give you with an example. In hashing, what happens is, you all know how to prepare a cake, right? So X has decided to prepare a cake, and he has got some ingredients such as sugar, egg, flour, baking powder, etc. And he has prepared the cake. He or she has prepared the cake for a birthday party. Now, after the cake is prepared, can we retrieve the ingredients from the cake? You can give the response in chat. Once the cake is prepared from the ingredients, can we get the ingredients back from the cake? It will not happen. We will not get the sugar, we will not get the eggs, we will not get the flour, we will not get the baking powder. They are all converted to a cake form. That is what is in hashing happens. You are converting into a secret form. The original text is converted to a secret form, but you will not get the original text from the secret form. That's it. Whereas in encryption, you have encryption as well as decryption, where you are converting the original form to secret form, and from secret form to original form you will get by using decryption. But here in the hashing, it will not happen. So that's it. Now, when it comes to Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework, this Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework, it mainly consists of documentation, implementation guidance, best practices that support increased security and compliance. So that the framework mainly provides the life cycle for the Microsoft Cloud adoption. Here, if you see, there are steps involved. Define strategy. What do you mean by define strategy? Here, we define the business justification and expected outcomes of adoption. So that is it. And when it comes to plan, align actionable adoption plans to business outcomes. That is the main point. When it comes to ready, so what is ready? Prepare the cloud environment for the planned changes. That's it. When it comes to adopt, what do you mean by adopt? Migrate. When it comes to adopt, the main concepts here are migrate and innovate. So what do you mean by migrate? Migrate in existing workloads. Migrate and order the existing workloads. That means you are moving from the on-premises to the cloud. When it comes to innovate, develop new cloud native or hybrid solutions. So you are always for innovation. Every day we have to innovate in technology. Day to day we have to go for new concepts. That is what is innovate. And these are the main concepts in the Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework. Yes. So yeah, now we are done with the lesson 1 of our module 1. I hope I am very clear. See, once I will revise the topics that I have discussed. Yeah, I have given you the details of zero trust methodology. The mantra is trust no one, verify everything. Defense in depth. Here I discussed about the layers wise implementation of security. And CIA, I told this is the base concept for security, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I have given you the shared responsibility model. There I told what is the sharing of responsibility in terms of software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service, and on-premises data center between the customers and cloud service provider. And I explained you common threats. Where I explained about data breach, dictionary attack, ransomware, disrupted attacks. Then I explained about encryption and hashing. I gave the difference between encryption and hashing and give the details of Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework. Very easy, very simple. This basic SC900 certification exam consists of the basic and easy concepts in the lesson 1. Yes, now I will speak about our MOC, that is Microsoft Official Curriculum. I request you all to please spend your valuable time in redeeming the MOC. I request Meenu to please share the MOC link to the participants. I will try to explain you how to redeem the MOC. My dear participants, this MOC is very, very important, and this Microsoft official curriculum redemption is very, very helpful to you. So you will come to know the benefits once you go through these steps. I just want you all to spend your valuable 5 minutes of time. Please give your time in visiting the link given to you by our colleague. By clicking the link, you will go to a site and put your email ID and claim your MOC. Right? If you have the skill pipe account, there you will be asked, select an option from do you have skill pipe account. I'm showing you all the procedure. Please follow it. Now, if you have gone through the Microsoft training, you will have the skill pipe account. And if you have not gone through the Microsoft trainings earlier, you don't have the skill pipe account. If you don't have the skill pipe account, don't get depressed. You can create the skill pipe account. See, if you have already skill pipe account, yes, I have skill pipe account. You click on that. Yes. So copy the unique MOC code voucher and you will definitely log in and redeem your voucher. See, what happens when you redeem the voucher? You will definitely get one of the excellent book on SC900 by the Microsoft. And also, you will be having the best chance of winning free vouchers to write the exam from our side. Now, say for example, if you don't have the skill pipe account, then you go for checking with the option, no, I do not have the skill pipe account. Then what you have to do is you have to follow this procedure. Copy the unique MOC code voucher, click on register and redeem voucher, and you have to give all the details, that is first name, last name, email, confirmation email, password, confirm password. So your MOC will be available in the bookshelf. Even though you have skill pipe account and you don't have the skill pipe account, there is no problem. You can definitely redeem your MOC and redeem the MOC and you can get the SC900 book in your bookshelf. So accept the Microsoft license terms. You have successfully redeemed the MOC. Now, how many of you are doing this activity? Can you tell us in the chat box? Yes, I will give you time also. We will have a break also in the coming next 10 to 15 minutes. Once again, I am telling you, without this MOC claim, your attending of this event will not give you the fruitful results. You have to download the book SC900 book to your bookshelf. See, I have given you all the details. Yeah, I will just want to check your responses also. Yeah, so you remember, I have given you the security concepts awareness question in the beginning of my session. Now I have able to see the total response. So aware are 16 and not aware are 10 and partially aware are 31. Okay, so I will be framing my lecture based on this. I hope the newly joined participants of that survey, after that survey, are also will give my security concepts survey with their response in terms of chat box. Yes, I'm thinking that you are all doing this given time. See redemption. My dear participants, please utilize this opportunity so that you will get the fruitful results from the Microsoft. Yes. Now, once you redeem your SC900 MOC, you share the screenshot at this particular mail ID. Yes. So you please share your screenshot with kirti@cloudnet.com. And once again repeating, once you redeem the SC900 MOC, please share your redeeming screenshot at kirti@cloudnet.com to get your participation certificate. See, certificates are very much needed for our career. That too, the certificate from CloudNet and Microsoft will change your career. I'm sure about that. So please do the SC900 MOC redemption, my dear participants. I'm giving you ample of time to do this activity. And also I have explained you how to redeem your SC900 MOC. Yeah, now I will give you some details about the upcoming contests by our CloudNet organization. We have Republic Day contest. Now, quick, my dear participants, please utilize this opportunity. Participate in this Republic Day contest and grab some goodies. There is still time. Today is 24th. You have 2 days of, sorry, 1 day of time. Okay, 1.5 day of time left over with you to participate in this contest. And there is CloudNet Skilling Carnival. So you have bunch of free trainings in the coming days for Microsoft certifications. Please swipe to know more about the upcoming batches for January 22 in our social media accounts, that is LinkedIn/CloudNet, Instagram/CloudNet, Twitter/CloudNet, and Facebook/CloudNet. And also we have practice questions edition 22. You will get all the regular updates about your upcoming training sessions, study guides, exam preparation material, giveaways, and other useful resources from our social media pages as mentioned. So please utilize all the social media pages of our organization and get the goodies as well as study material. Now, the free voucher, exam voucher form. So fill this form to claim the free exam voucher. When you go to the Microsoft exam page, you will get this interface, and when you fill the form to claim, the free voucher will be given to you. Only limited vouchers are there. First come first served basis will be giving you the free vouchers. Yes. Otherwise, there is a price associated with the certification, that is $99. Now, so enough of discussion related to MOC and our upcoming skill carnivals and the contests. Now, as we are in the module 1, I will be describing the lesson 2, that is identity concepts. Hopefully, you have gained some knowledge in terms of security till now. Yeah, I know you are all waiting for the break. I will give you break within 10 to 15 minutes for 10 minutes. Yes. During that break time also, we'll be discussing about the MOC so that all the participants who are there in this particular 2-day session will utilize the opportunity and reading the MOC. Yes. Now when it comes to identity, describe the identity concepts. Yes. So as I told, for every lesson there are various targets. Here in this lesson, we will be discussing about concept of identity as a security parameter, understand the difference between authentication and authorization, and describe identity related services. Yes. Now, we have already discussed about the identity attacks in our chapter 1. Here we have password based attacks. The password based attack mainly focuses on trying with different passwords and cracking the username details and accessing all the resources as this attacker is doing with various employees and getting the access of authentication system and active directory. Phishing, I already told that an email is sent to an user and the email is of malicious intention email where you will be trapped to give your username and password details. Based on that, your account related information will be stolen. Now, what is spear phishing is? So there is a lot of difference between phishing and spear phishing, even though they are similar concepts. When it comes to spear phishing, as we have COVID-19, we have COVID-19 and we have Omicron. Now this is the current what we say threat to all of us in terms of our health. Now phishing and spear phishing are similar to this. So Omicron is the variant of COVID-19. Spear phishing is the variant of phishing. That is it. So variant in the sense it will have the similarity but have some various other functionalities. So when it comes to spear phishing, it is a variant on phishing and hackers build a database of information about users which can be used to create highly credible emails. So that's what is spear phishing is. So the research is done on the user and based on the research, credible emails will be sent to you. You will feel that one of your colleague is sending you an email, but that colleague is not sending you an email. It is email sent by some unauthorized user and trying to grab your details. So same as COVID-19 and Omicron. Omicron is the variant of COVID-19. Spear phishing is the variant of phishing. Yes. Now, identity as the security parameter. Now, what is identity is? Identity is nothing but your user name. Your username is your identity. Don't forget this point because identity plays a vital role in your entire discussion. So your username is your identity and it is the primary security perimeter. See here in this diagram, the partners and customers are associated with an organization by their usernames. Employees are associated with usernames. Devices are associated with devices names. And on-premise apps have some app names. Cloud apps are having some names. So what I want to tell you is that identity is how someone or something can be verified and authenticated and may be associated with user, application, device, and other resources which are there with your organization. So that's what I want to tell you. And when it comes to 4 pillars of identity, administration is the higher authority that gives the username password to the various customers and employees. I will give you a demonstration how to give username and password in the demonstration session. Authentication, I told authentication is very important. What is the difference between authentication and authorization? When it comes to authentication, every user will be associated with the password. And say, for example, you are a bank customer. You are checked with your username and password. Say, for example, you are a employee of the organization. You are checked with your username and password. So that is what is authentication is. Checking before entering into the organization and accessing the resources. When it comes to authorization, what services you can use after you enter into the organization, what devices you can access, what virtual machine resources you can access. That is all about authorization. So when it comes to auditing, every time there will be a check on how the user is behaving, how the user is accessing the resources. So auditing is done. Based on that auditing only, the malicious users will be caught. So at the end, primary security perimeter is nothing but identity, your username, modern authentication and the role of identity provider. So what I want to tell you is every day authentication strategies are changing and the role of identity provider is significant in terms of implementing authentication and authorization. Now, at the center of modern authentication is the role of identity provider. Who is the identity provider? The identity provider is the one who is there between client, 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 and server. So identity provider is there between client and server. So please remember this. You should be knowing this till the end of this chapter. Identity provider stands between client and server. So what the main gist of this entire slide is, the identity provider offers authentication, authorization, and auditing services. So mainly identity provider is to establish authentication and authorization policies and also monitor the behavior. So the modern capability of identity provider and modern authentication is the support of single sign-on. I will explain you what is single sign-on is. Yes. And also Microsoft Azure Directory is an example of cloud-based identity provider. See, what happens is we have the client and we have the server. In between, the identity provider is there. The client communicates with the identity provider, and the identity provider verifies identity, issues a security token. Simply, I will write token. So what the identity? Sorry. Yeah. So what the identity provider does is provides security tokens. So once again, I will tell you, client communicates with the identity provider. Identity provider verifies the identity and issues the security token. Now, based on this, the server will validate the security token through its trust relationship with the identity provider. That's it. So this is the whole scenario that happens with identity provider. So once again, I'm repeating, identity provider is the main source of authentication and authorization. Hope I am clear with this slide. Now, this is what is concept of federated services is. Very important concept of the lesson 2. When it comes to, yes, in the previous slide, we had a concept of single sign-on. What is single sign-on is? So with the single sign-on concept, user logins in once and the credential is used to access multiple applications or resources. So the user will be logging in once and will be used to access multiple applications or resources. That is what is single sign-on is. When you set up single sign-on between multiple identity providers, then it is called as federation. Now in this diagram, you see the website authenticates with identity provider A and the user authenticates with identity provider B. There is a trust relationship between identity provider A and identity provider B. So that is how the federation concept is implemented. Hope I am clear. Once again, I am repeating. The website interacts with the apps or services and authenticates with identity provider A. And the user authenticates with identity provider B. You see, there are two identity providers, and there is a trust relationship between identity provider A and identity provider B. That is how the federation is implemented. So this is as simple as that. See, did you ever log in to a third-party site with a social media account such as Twitter? Yes or no? You can reply in chat. I am asking the question. Did you ever log into a third-party site with your social media account such as Twitter? Twitter. I am just repeating my question. You can reply in chat box. Did you ever log in to a third-party site with your social media account such as Twitter? Yes or no? You can reply. If you are done with it, then you reply with yes. If you are not done, you reply no. I hope the chat replies are coming. Yes. So what happens in this scenario? Twitter is an identity provider, and the third party site may be using a different identity provider such as Azure AD. So there is a trust relationship between Azure AD and Twitter. That is what is federated service is. I know you are all waiting for the break. Let us go for break. I will give you the break. Don't worry, don't worry. We can have our coffee, tea, whatever we want, relaxation, everything in our break. But there are some more concepts to discuss. Yes. The concept of directory services and active directory. Yes. I will give you the break as told when we enter into the module 3. Yeah. The concept of directory services and active directory. So as mentioned, a directory is a hierarchical structure, stores information about objects on the network. You all know the directory is nothing but a folder in which you arrange files. So a directory service stores directory data and makes it available to a network users, administrators, services, and applications. The best known service is Active Directory AD, domain service, and a central component in organization with on-premises IT infrastructure. So you'll be working with Azure AD in our demonstration where I will tell you how to create user, how to create group, how to give licenses to the user. All things I will show you in our demonstration. Yes. Azure Active Directory is the evolution of identity and access management solutions and provides identity as a service solution on their apps. So the concept of directory services and Azure Active Directory is very important. So we have completed this module. The module summary is we have learned about zero trust methodology. We have discussed about shared responsibility model. We have learned about defense in depth, CI trade, common security threats, cybersecurity threats, threats to business and personal data, and also we have discussed about the identity as security parameter. I will just show you the slides for your recap. Lesson 2. Yeah, we started with identity attacks, primary security perimeter, that is identity, username. And then I have given you the details of identity provider. Where is the identity provider located? Between client and server. Identity provider issues token. And based on the token, server will give the services. And also I gave the federated services with Twitter example. And then I discussed about the directory services and Azure Active Directory and totally the summary. Now we have completed our module 1. We will be discussing about module 2, the last module of this session. We are at 2.8. Now I will give you 10 minutes break. We will be coming and discussing module 2 after this 10 minutes break, and then we will be completing.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt between the session and you moving forward to this module. I just wanted to ask all our attendees, can we please go to the MOC slide once?
Yeah.
Hi Rajesh, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, can we please go to the MOC slide once?
Yeah, sorry. Just a minute.
Yeah,
I will
no
just
problem. Yeah.
just a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much for pitching it so wonderfully. And I'm glad that we have received an overwhelming response and people have registered and have redeemed their emojis and shared the screenshots with us at kirti@cloudart.com. So thank you everyone for doing so. For the people who are still facing any issue, you can, as explained by Rajesh, you can still go to the MOC guide. You can follow the steps. The MOC guide link is already shared with you. You just need to download the guide and you can refer if you have stuck or missed out on any step. So this will help you to avail your participation certificate also. So you will get free MOC, free participation certificate, form link, exam voucher form link will also be shared with you tomorrow. So I think that there are so many benefits that you are getting from the free training. So you should extract all of it and excel as much as you can. So if you are facing any issue, our technical chat moderator is there to help you with the MOC issue. But please redeem it, guys. It is for your benefit only. So once the break is given, if you have not redeemed, please get it redeemed and use it.